guys, what's going on? Bloss is back. Welcome back to another episode of Top Drives and another episode of What Can You Get From That Pack. Now, this is the first carbon fiber that we are going to review right after the car correction change. So, there might be, some ultra rares here that have gone epic, for example, and obviously my opinions might change over time, but I'm going to be as honest and obviously as straightforward as I can be. I'll be telling you what I think about some of the cars that are in this Year of the Snake pack. So, before we get into it, as you can see, this is the pack that you need to open if you want to compete for the Year of the Snake Carbon Fiber Challenge or just the Year of the Snake Challenge. I'm in my GOMS account, so if you're wondering why I have 420 RQ or 3,000 trophies, well, you know why. I'm on GOMS. As you can see, it's doing well compared to Polo S. It's thriving, kind of. I think the win percentage on this thing is not very high. Oh, yeah, it's good. It is thriving, 98%. There you go. But anyway, where are the prizes? I think I need to click this little button over here. Year of the Snake. As you can see, prizes are fantastic. Cadillac CT5V Blackwing, really want that. Nissan Leaf Nismo RC, so some pretty good stuff there. So let's get into it. As always, these are the ranks. As always with the pack review series, we've got highly versatile, has its moments, requires a special tag challenge, and of course the new hot garbage, Robin's wondrous world of plus or minus 3 RQ, because we all love an unbalanced game, you know what I mean? Anyway, let's get into it. Subaru Legacy B4 Blitzen requires a special tag challenge. The only thing that is saving it from the lowest rank is that it's one of those few, Subarus that just has slightly above average MRA. I do have this on my main account, and I have a drag spec. I have two, 1323, and another one drag spec. And I know what the next question is going to be. Well, how many times have you used a drag spec option? Well, a couple of times in Subaru events in the beginning of JPT, and never again for the next 3-4 years. So that's about it. How old is JPT? 3 years? 3.5 years? I don't want to say 4, but it might actually be 4. Wow, was it that long ago? But yeah, a drag spec version did help me back in the day, but nowadays it's only reserved for the special tag challenge. I think I can still get some use out of it out of this Year of the Snake, but outside of that, it's not a car that you would use that much anymore. Next one is the Skoda Yeti. Yeah, that's definitely in Robin's wondrous world of plus or minus 3 RQ. It's not an RQ50. To put it very simply, it is simply not an RQ50. It is like an RQ48 or maybe a 49. It's definitely not a 50. It is a terrible car. Performs outside the ultra rare bracket, if you asked me. Next up is the TBR Griffith 200. I'm also going to put that in Robin's Wondrous World of plus or minus 3 RQ. I don't think it should be an RQ53, maybe more along the lines of maybe a 50, like a borderline ultra dragster. Obviously, it's going to be losing to the likes of the Charger 3, and if you're going to argue that this is a twisty car, 77 handling, man. Okay. Next up, Mazda 3 MPS. I'm gonna say has its moments. It's not a very good City Streets medium car, but if you filter by RQ53 only, City Street small, it is the best car that you could use. It's tied with like 2 other cars, I believe, but at least it's the best in something, which, 53. Okay, does it deserve 53? I'm not sure. Maybe 52. Maybe 53 is a little bit too much, but I do think that it will have its moments. Any city living or city streets or Dragon City clubs where it's Mazda times 5, this being medium, not being overinflated by, 4-wheel drive, it handles pretty well. I think there is some use out of the Mazda 3 MPS. I mean, we need to remember when this thing was a super rare, it was the best, one of the best City Street, I think it was the best City Street medium, car in the game, when it was a super rare. It was either that or City Street small, one or the other, but it really was a pioneer in one of those areas, and it's still a pretty decent RQ53, so I'll put it in has its moments. Next up is the Maserati 3200 GT Assetto Corsa. Pretty interesting one. You're getting 90 handling when you max it out. Top speed is high, no MRA. 0 to 60 is okay. I think it will have its moments. I mean, especially when it's in a Maserati event, you need to save a little bit of RQ, if you want to use a Legend or maybe a better RQ Epic or anything like that, but you have a little bit of RQ to play around with. It's definitely enough to be a super rare killer on hybrid track sets. I mean, obviously, he's not going to be beating a Lotus Elise Sprint on a slalom or car park or let alone G-Force or maybe even a twisty road, but you got to know where to use it. It will have its moments, and that's why I'm going to put it in that exact tier. Mercedes AMG G63. I mean, some people might disagree with me on this one, but I genuinely think it's a pretty versatile car. When it was an Epic, I get it, completely useless, not worth the upgrade. But it's a pretty good hill climb car. pretty good hill climb car, pretty good, quarter mile car on all kinds of off-road tracks besides gravel. When it comes to Mercedes, off-road events, this car is also pretty decent because I believe it is the only off-road Mercedes. All the other ones that you can use from the brand are all surface tires. So it will shine in those events. Now, I know some people might think bring it down to hazard moments makes it a little bit more sense. And you know what? I agree with you. I'm going to bring it down one, but I'm going to put it at the top of hazards moments. I do use it quite often, even though it is specifically for the hill climb. I still get use out of it. Okay, Chrysler 300C. I'm going to say it requires a special tag challenge. It's one of those rear-wheel drive set tire cars. I mean, 83 handling on it is great and all, but it's a car that barely gets any use. Even if it's an American wet event, I would use a four-wheel drive standard. Even if it's a Chrysler wet event, I would use the prize car, the Glacier, right? Four-wheel drive and standard, just being a better option to use. Obviously, if you don't have that and you are stuck in a Chrysler event, then you're probably going to have to use this 300C. Fine, I get that. But that being said, you're also not going to be finishing tier 1 or tier 2, are you, with a car like that? Moving on, Bufori. Oh, this got a massive upgrade. It used to be RQ53, 52, 53. Now it's 57, which I think is just absolutely way out of its depth. I think it's in Robin's wondrous world of plus or minus 3 RQ. It is not a 57. I think it was okay where it was before as a 53 or 52, whatever it was. But 57 now is just way too much. It's a decent city street small car. But come on, man, it's just not a 57. I mean, you compare it straight to the Mazda 3 MPS 5158, then you've got 82 handling compared to 78. That's a massive handling buff, right? These two cars, I would say, are more similar. I don't think that the Before deserves like 4 RQ more. I don't even think the Mazda 3 deserves 53. It's lucky to get 53. I think it's more of like a 52. And this one, I mean, this got to go down to 52, 53. I think that makes a little bit more sense that way. But it was a good city street small car. So maybe max 54, but definitely not 57. So yeah, I'm gonna put that at the bottom tier. Hyundai Clicks is up next. I'm gonna say versatile. It's a pretty decent car, especially when it comes to just South Korean events. It's a pretty good South Korean car to get. When I think of the best South Korean ultra rares, I think of the Clicks. I think of the Hyundai Elantra, the one that's medium ground clearance. I think of the prize cars, the Time Attack, stuff like that. Those are also pretty good. This is definitely a versatile car. 89 handling, is a low 0 to 60, and it has 4-wheel drive as well. And in this sense, 4-wheel drive does kind of benefit it because it isn't inflated with medium ground clearance, I believe. I think it's low ground clearance. I do apologize if I'm wrong on that. I think it's low. It should be, I think. But it has won me a couple of prize cars. I do use it in South Korean events, especially if there's the rain, and it is pretty useful. Rain hybrid though, not like a rain slalom, rain car park. You got to know where to use it. More of like a rain twisty circuit, rain Monaco streets long, something along those lines. Okay, moving on. Audi S5. Now this thing, I had to do some research on this car because I wasn't sure if it was good or not. It's medium ground clearance. I know that for sure because I did some research on it. Now looking at RQ61, city streets medium, city streets small. This car is not even top 3 in any of them, so it requires a special tag challenge. Also, if I just compare it to just Audi, there's that RQ63 Audi, I think is an A4, right, the white one, the little hatchback, which is a better option to use, and that isn't a great car, but it's a better option to use. So definitely gonna put that above the Audi S5. What I'm trying to say is that this thing has better options even within its own brand, so I don't think it's that good. I guess the only niche that it might carry is the fact that maybe medium ground clearance convertibles, maybe. That's about it. All right, Aston Martin V12 Vanquish. Now, when I think of this car, the only thing I can think of is if I drag spec'd it, how well will it do in a test bowl? 177 miles per hour on the test bowl, according to Top Drives Clubs, if I remember correctly, which puts it the same as the Rapide. And also, both of these cars fall under the Afiji. They fall under the Lancia prize car, or is it the Alfa Romeo prize car, the Chili Pepper, and a couple of other vehicles as well. So the V12, although it's a high top speed, I believe if you max it out at 332, I think it's just shy of 200 miles per hour because I have this maxed out. I believe it's 199. It still misses the mark. I think at most, yeah, honestly requires a special tag challenge in my opinion. Now moving on, TBR Tamora. I mean, at most, if you want to be nice, has its moments, maybe. Now I'm gonna put it in requires special tag challenge, maybe at the top of it. Tamora is great. Tamora, I'm gonna say highly versatile. The stocks. I mean, this car used to be X Blossom Choice, right? It was X Blossom Choice, and in the rarity change, the previous one, the previous one, the one that came with World Expo, the stocks of Tamora went down. because, you know, the BMW M5, for example. But with the most recent car correction change, with the M5 going back up, with some of those Mercs going up as well, the TVR is one of the best. Again, it's still behind the Afiji. Afiji's still a better car. Oh yeah, then over the Lancia's going up. The Lancia's and the Alpha prize cars going up. The TVR Tamora is pretty decent. Now it's like the third or second best dragster, depending on where you put it. It still falters behind the Chili Pepper. I always forget if that's the Alpha or the Lancia. I think it's the Alpha, as well as the Afiji. But obviously, you know, one of the cars that I mentioned is a prize car. Afiji is fantastic. It's the best one. Tamora is going to be like second to that in terms of like non-prize stuff. So Tamora, highly versatile. I think the stocks of the Tamora, they're back. They're not as strong as they used to be, but they are strong again. Moving on to epics. AC. All right, so I want to talk about these two. The Spiker, Laviolette, and the AC, all right? This is just broken. The fact that the Laviolette is a higher RQ than the AC, and the AC is better, by the way. AC is a 91 MRA. I think Spiker is 95. But then again, it's 4.10 to 60 for 4.5, and the Spiker is 3 RQ higher. This makes me think that in the next correction change, when it affects epics and legends, the AC Cobra is probably going to go up in RQ, which is so wrong. But also at the same time, I think that the C8 needs to go down. So I think the C8's in Robin's Wondrous World of plus or 3 minus RQ. I don't think it performs like a 68. I mean, if you really want to, I think it should have stayed ultra rare. Honestly speaking, it's not even as good as a Afiji, and the Afiji is 64. So this should have been 63, or at most 64. Or if you really wanted to be, you know, smart about things, the Afiji should be the one going to 65 or 66, and the C8 should have been the one at 64. That's what I think. 68 is way too high for this car. The AC, I think it requires a special tag challenge. If the M5 didn't go up, and I think it should have gone up anyway. If the M5 didn't go up, and the M5 was going to be the benchmark of what an RQ64 meant, then the AC Cobra definitely would have been in Robin's Wondrous World of plus or minus 3 RQ. But it seems like the benchmark of what a 64 RQ dragster means now, to Hodge at least, is like the Tamora or the Afiji. So if I'm comparing this to a Tamora and a Fiji, Fiji's still gonna beat the AC, but I've done the times on Top Dives records, the AC beats the Tamora. So I think that maybe these two should be 64 and the Afiji goes 65 maybe. But that's probably not going to happen. I'm going to say it requires a special tag challenge though. I don't think it's going to be in Robin's Wonders World of 3 RQ, because that would mean that I would think that this car is an RQ 61 or 62. And I don't think that. I don't think that at all. Skoda Superb Hatchback special tag challenge. Audi, this one is definitely going to be in the bottom tier. That's like a 64 maybe. Suzuki GSX, I'm going to say requires a special tag challenge. Charger Juice has its moments. Again, great car, but it's competing against like 6 other Hellcats, so and it's not better than any one of them. S5 Sportback, Robin's Wondrous World of plus and minus 3 RQ. RS5, same story. Aston Martin Vanquish Volante, I'm gonna say has its moments. It's got a high top speed, decent MRA. We got the Roof 3800S, again has its moments. It's all right. Exige V6 Cup has its moments. I mean, they are better. You know, the Lotus and the Charger, they're very similar in the sense that they're actually useful cars. And I do believe that they are worthy of their RQ. This one, you know, the Charger Juice is a 70. It's probably going to go up, though, in the car correction change. Lotus Exige V6 is a 73, right? That makes sense. It's just that the only reason why I don't rank them higher is because they have better options. They're way better Lotuses. They're way better Chargers, Hellcats, Dodges, right? The 406 Coupe Silhouette. Ooh, this is a good one. Is it highly versatile, though? Nah, I think it's versatile. It's a good car to use, especially with the new update. You know, EGT is still the newest update, so that's going to be used a little bit more. Mitsubishi, I'm going to say has its moments. It's okay. If you need to use a Japanese car for the test bowl, there are not many Japanese cars that can go, you know, over 200 miles per hour. This one can. At least, you know, on paper. It's not going to go 200 miles per hour in a test bowl, but it has a way higher top speed compared to most Japanese cars in the game. So, as a test bowl car, it has its moments, yes. CC100 Speedster. Ooh, you know, back in the day, the CC100 was highly versatile. Like, this thing was just ridiculous, a force to be reckoned with, right? 99 MRA, 98 handling if you max it out 233, fantastic. But obviously, the benchmark of what makes an RQ79 or just, a really good epic has gotten better and better and better. And the CC100 has just, fallen down the pecking order. I'm going to say it's still a versatile car though, and I feel like I'm going to get a lot of use out of everything Year of the Snake, whether it's a multiplayer event, a builder event, or even in the challenge. I've already gotten some use out of it, and it's great. It's great. I'm really happy that I get to use it again. It is a great car to have. All right, Lotus V6 Cup R. That's gonna be highly versatile. We're literally talking about better options of the Exige V6, and we have a case in study right here, right? So case in point right here. So highly versatile. All right, moving on to Legends. Now I gotta say the Legends selection for Year of the Snake is terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'm going to start off the Koenigsegg CC8S. I don't even think it has its moments. I think it requires a special tag challenge. I don't think a single soul has won the Audi R18 with this in their hand. I had better Koenigseggs than this. They weren't good, but they were better than that. And they couldn't even win me the R18 Koenigsegg. If you won the R18 with this Koenigsegg, it just means that you had the easiest bracket in the entire world. It's got a high top speed, but that's every Koenigsegg really, so nothing special to pop it apart. Yeah, I'm going to be pretty brutal with it and put it in requires a special tag challenge. Audi R6 event, it's going to be the same thing as well. That should go back down to Epic, honestly. And if it goes down back to Epic, I will very happily max it again. I will very happily max it again, truly. But as a legendary, my goodness, it's terrible. I mean, I should bring it down. Honestly, I should bring these two down. Okay, maybe not. Okay, not the Koenigsegg. Maybe not. I gotta think about what makes a 79 nowadays. When you think of a 79 Epic nowadays, we're thinking like, when you max it out, it's like 2.898, 2.899, 2.8100, 2.9100, around those marks. This, when you max it out, it's going to be like, what? 2.7? 2.8? 98? It could be a 79. Okay, I'm going to put it in across special tag channel, but the Audi, yeah, this one definitely goes to the bottom tier. Porsche 911 GT3, rightly rated, versatile. I mean, if you max it out, it's going to be a fantastic 83, but not a lot of people are going to max it out, are they? But it's a decent car to have. McLaren 12C, I think, is pretty decent too. And then we've got the Mazda 6 Sky Active. I'm going to give that highly versatile. That's always great to get, great handling out of that. 104. Okay, you know what though? The 0 to 60 on that car is very bad. 3.7. I'll bring it down. I'll bring it down, even though the handling is great. Roof R Turbo. Ooh, this car, ladies and gentlemen, that's the car that you definitely want to get. Not only is it going to be a car that you can use for Year of the Snake, I believe that it'll be one of the most key cars for the Viper final. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, fair enough. But then again, this challenge aside, the upcoming Viper finals aside, how good is it actually? Does it actually perform like an 89? And this is where I think probably not. I think at most it's versatile. And then we've got the Lancer's highly versatile. That's not up for debate. Lamborghini Gallardo is not a 90. That's an 87, 86. That needs to go down. Continental GT3, that's pretty good. That's highly versatile. That's really good actually. And then we've got the Hyundai Genesis, which is the best car of the pack. I mean, honestly, I'm a little bit afraid though if you can even use that, because 100 RQ is really expensive. I don't know if you can even use that for most levels, especially if it's restricted by RQ. Okay, but it's fantastic. It is a wonderful car to own. And last one, I left it here on purpose because I love this car. I mean, you can tell this is going to be the car of the thumbnail for sure. It is my favorite version of the SLS2, the Black Series. I love this car. I love it. I want it. I want to max it. I want to make it my own. It's going to be wonderful. Max that baby out. That's like what? 3.0 100, which is basically the stats of an RQ79. So it requires a special tag challenge. I love that car. I really do. But I can't even say it has its moments. There are not a lot of legendary Mercs left in top drives. Yes, in a Mercedes event, maybe that will shine if you can max it out. Who would max it out though? Honestly. Besides a nut like me that loves Mercedes and loves the SLS specifically. Who would actually max it out? I mean, even me, I wouldn't even max it out, I'll be honest. Only if it goes to an Epic. It'll be a fantastic Epic. It'll be an amazing 79. I would love this car to be 79. But unfortunately, we won't see that because Robin will only move it down to an epic if that card deserves to be like a 77, which it doesn't. But it's 79 material, you know. This is 79 material for sure. And I just wish I could see it as a 79, because it would be a wonderful card. It would be a wonderful card to have and own and max and just cherish. But yeah, unfortunately, it's just not that good. It requires special tag challenge. I'm sure that this at 1 star might get you through one of the easier or moderate levels in a challenge, but that's gonna be it. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for today. This is my assessment of the Year of the Snake Carbon Fiber. Let me know down in the comments below if you agree or disagree. It's a pretty bad pack, I'll be honest. The legendaries are not good. There are some good ones here, you know. There are 3. There's 1 great ultra rare, which still loses to an Effigy. There's a great epic, which, you know, in a general sense, in a twisty sense, it will lose to the KTM Expo RR, right? Yeah, not a good pack. Not a good pack. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today. I hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight all night, cruise to